Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to another thrilling episode of This Week in Real Estate. So this is the second one of the new year, and even though there wasn't a ton, if you will, on the schedule this week, it got filled in a hurry, and another week has passed really quickly. So that tends to kind of happen in real estate and kind of in the life stage me and my family are in currently. So the market report, so Delaware County has seen more of a decrease this week as far as what is active on the market, and so there are 80 active homes and then there are 103 pending homes. So those are both down from last week, which was down from the prior 2 weeks before. Randolph County is down slightly, and there are 26 active homes with 34 pending. So that's kind of, again, a little bit further down than we're used to, obviously. But I can remember at one point, about mid-year last year, we were down into the teens as far as what was currently for sale. So we're up a little bit, and there's I just checked this morning. There's actually a few more that just popped up kind of overnight or whatever. So yeah, so things are being listed, but they're going pending really quickly. So and that will be discussed here in a second with the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good would be, I did my favorite video of the year. It was posted a couple of days ago, which is the year kind of in review for the prior year. And if you want to check that out, go ahead and I guess scroll down and find that. It should be one of the last videos that was posted. And just a quick recap, as you can imagine, it was a very full and exciting year and one of the best years I've had in real estate. And that was thanks to all you guys out there listening and watching these and sending me your questions, and friends and family if they have questions, things like that. And then also we were able to support quite a few charities through the year, and I've listed those in that video, so check that out. And once again, thanks everybody. But moving on to kind of the good of this past week, we had a closing in Eaton. So that one got wrapped up. I think everybody is excited about that one. There is one closing right now that I am not attending. My buyer is out of state, and so he's pre-signed everything. So the sellers are at the title company right now closing that one. And then we have one more kind of on tap for tomorrow. So that's going to be good. And then if you remember last week, I had a new listing on Ethel in Muncie, and when I made that video we had 3 offers. We ended up with 4 offers. Obviously we chose one of those, and that one's clicking right along in its process. Had a few showings on the print shop here in Farmland, and again, I just love that space because it can serve a ton of purposes, and from the people I've been showing it to, they're all different and they all have all different purposes, and so hopefully we get something going on that soon. Other showings as well kind of throughout the week, and that's been peppered all kinds of different properties and situations. So that kind of, like I said, things got filled in rather quickly when you start the week and you say, well, it looks like a light week, and then that's the one thing you don't want to say. So, and I remember that in my baseball days, working in baseball, you never really said, boy, this game is going so fast, because after you say that, it will slow down or go into extra innings. And so I kind of made that mistake this week in real estate. So Petty Road, so we got that contract accepted about a week ago or so, and we got through inspections and got those negotiated. So next up is appraisal on that one. And then I don't know if you can tell, you don't see a whole lot behind me, but finally got things kind of better organized and cleaned up around here. That was my over Christmas project that never got done. And so and you can imagine, after you get some of that stuff, just the pile of papers sorted and filed and in the binders and stuff like that, it just feels a little bit nicer in here. And I took the tree down. Some people want to keep their tree up all year, that's fine, but I ended up taking that down and got rid of some boxes and stuff. So it just feels a little more clean and less cluttered in here, so that's always good. Can't have the good without the bad. So the bad, and this has been a recurring theme as far as what is bad in the world of real estate right now, but appraisals are kicking our butt right now. And it's kind of across the board in how that's happening, and the agents in the office, including myself, but we just have trouble getting word back, and it's putting a lot of stress on a lot of people. As far as, I have one client who's essentially homeless because the appraiser will not get back and sign off on a final reinspection of something. We have another seller who's in a pinch trying to sell a home that's in a trust, and there's, issues kind of with that anyway. But the appraiser was like 2 weeks ago, and they said they'd get it in the next day, and here we are 2 weeks later, and nobody can get in touch with them, not returning phone calls. And so, yeah, it just makes everything so difficult and everybody upset, and it's just been a struggle this past year to get things in a timely manner, get a word back, and that has nothing to do with the other problem of sometimes they come in short. So that's a whole nother discussion as far as selling it at this price, and then the appraiser says, nope, I think it's worth down here, and then you have to go through that. So yeah, just appraisals in general right now, I know they're backed up, as far as their workload and things like that, but just like with any business, especially in real estate that I've seen with agents and everybody involved, if we can just communicate a little bit better, it would go over so much more smoothly. So that would be the bad of the week. On to the ugly. I, again, jinxed myself last week and said, hey, there's nothing ugly, let's continue that. And yeah, that didn't happen. So one of the ugly things happened just the other night, and it would be the second time in my real estate career that I had to go through this, and this was a buying client of mine calling, texting, emailing, I forget, whatever it was, about 10:30 or 11 o'clock the night before closing, and said, I'm not showing up to closing, I'm no longer purchasing the property. So those are not fun phone calls to make to everybody involved, lender, title, and then obviously the other agent who has the seller, who we have a date and time scheduled for the closing, and all of a sudden that's not going to happen. And yeah, it was as amicable as it could be between everybody, but frustration levels very high across the board. And but yeah, sometimes that does happen. And without getting into the nitty-gritty, there are things to do after that, and I can't say it's wrapped up in a nice little bow, but both parties are kind of moving forward, moving on, but still there'll be an ugly part of the real estate week. So on to Cooking Corner with Curtis. And so I did have a little bit of time in the evenings to kind of help out with suppers this past week, and the highlight for me at least was kind of a different take on Mexican night. And so what I did, and it was kind of a busy day for Rachel and the kids and myself, so I was like, well, something in the crock pot would be awesome for today. We're going to get home kind of later, and then if I don't have to sit there and do a ton of cooking, that would be great. And so what I did is put a chuck roast in the crock pot and seasoned it. It was basically kind of a cilantro, what else was in there? Cumin and paprika, a little bit of pepper, stuff like that. A little bit of lime as well, and let that go for like 10 hours or whatever. So that came out awesome. And then actually tried my hand at homemade tortillas. Been wanting to do that for a little bit, never had really the time because it's just so easy to pull that out of the cabinet, the tortillas or whatever. But it turned out pretty good. Now I'll make a couple little tweaks here and there if I decide to do that again in the future, but I thought it went really well, so that was awesome. So had plenty of leftovers too, which is great. So coming up, and again, it may look like a light week next week, but who knows. I do have those closings that I mentioned, and then I do have a couple homes to be researching as far as homes I was at last week, and a couple homes I'll be at this week as well. Market research, pricing strategies, advertising, things like that. So pretty good full week, and so once again, thank you for tuning in to these things, and any suggestions, just let me know, and until next time, I'll see you.